Halo Infinite is going under some major changes. We get our first look at Rocksteady and WB Montreal's Batman games, and I'm gonna tell you something, they look amazing. We get some very interesting news about Rachet and Clank Rift Apart, which also looks incredible, and allegedly the PlayStation 5 will be getting a teardown. All of these stories and much more can be found here, right now, in episode 142 of the Analog Circle Podcast. I am your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and my gosh, it feels amazing to be back for another week. And I tell you, thank every last one of you. Thank you for being here to spend some time with me to go over this gaming culture that we all love. I tell you, I took a week off last week, had some things going on, but we are back on track. Now, guys, if you want to be a part of the show, if you want to be on the podcast, you can do that two different ways. Either you can call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show, and the email address is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Now, I got to tell y'all, usually over the last couple of weeks, I have not had time to get into any games. Been kind of busy, but I tell you, I got into one this weekend, man. Oh, man. I was sleeping on it. I got into Little Nightmares. Let me tell you. And the thing that triggered it, right, was over the week, we had Gamescom. Gamescom was happening, and, they were showing the trailers, quite a few cool-looking trailers, and all of a sudden, that trailer for the sequel, Little Nightmares Part 2, came up, and I was like, oh, that looks nice. Looks all crazy and creepy and whatnot, and I said to myself, you know what, I forgot. I got this game. I got the first one. So I went upstairs when I got a chance to. Went on upstairs, cracked that bad boy on, and golly, let me tell you something, brothers and sisters, dang. That game is incredible. I mean, it is fantastic. This is what I will tell you. You will definitely know if this is your type of game. If you enjoy the game Inside, this game is on the same level. I would say as far as production value and graphics, man, it is like two, I would say maybe even 3 steps above what Inside was able to do. Play Dead, those guys are just wonderful. I really love their work. I mean, Limbo, Inside, but these guys over there that worked on Little Nightmares, it's like they took that concept and they just boosted it to 10, because this gameplay is great. Graphics are wonderful looking graphics. And the concept is so, I don't know what the world is happening right now. I have no idea what's going on. It's these crazy looking characters. Everything is so much bigger than you are. You appear to be a human, a little girl in a yellow raincoat. It kind of gave me like It vibes with little Georgie and whatnot, and the It clown got him. I don't know. It just has this eerie feel about it. It is just an amazing game so far. There's no dialogue. Like I said, I don't know what the story is right now, but I'm going through it and I am having such a great time. I'm telling you, Part 2, if it wasn't for Part 2 showing up, I've had this game for over a year, maybe a year and a half. I've had it for a minute. I caught it on sale. I think it was like $15 when I got it. It was just one of those impulse buys. I was like, man, had my eye on it for a little while. I'm going to pick it up, and I just forgot about it. But, man, I would recommend, if you were a fan, and I'm going to be repeating myself here, but if you were a fan of Inside and you enjoyed the mystique of that game, just the mystery of it, not so much the graphics, but the environment and just how that story was told, I think this would be absolutely right up your alley. Definitely check it out. It is a fantastic game. I can't say enough positive things about it, but I don't want to harp on it too long, guys, because we got to get into what we all come here for. And that was the only thing I played this week. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into what we all come here for, guys. And that is the gaming news that went down. Man, that game was hard, though. But let's go ahead and let's kick things off with Nintendo. Because a while back we heard rumors that a Switch Pro was being worked on, but slowly the rumors faded into the background. Well, they have resurfaced again, because according to an IGN article, the new Switch will enter production this year and will launch in the first quarter of 2021. Now, the alleged source, who has been pointed out as Economic Daily News, also said the new Switch version will feature improved interactivity and a better quality display. But outside of that, it was no mention of whether or not it would be a more powerful console under the hood. Now, I'm telling y'all, this has been something I think a lot of us have been wondering about. Right now, the Switch is doing amazing numbers. It is doing fantastic for Nintendo. They can't keep them in stock. They're constantly selling out. This is just wonderful for Nintendo right now. But I think everybody, similar to myself, has thought, what is Nintendo going to do once these new consoles come out, the Series X and the PlayStation 5? Are they still going to continue on with the Switch and act like those consoles don't exist? Because we all know Nintendo does whatever they want to do. They don't play by the rules. They do what makes them happy. But the thing was, we all wondered, well, at least I wondered. I'll speak for myself. I wondered how much of an impact that would have if they just stuck with the Switch. We already know that graphically it is nowhere near where even the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are right now. So would this hurt Nintendo if they stuck with the Switch? Me personally, the way they're selling, I truly don't think it would have hurt them, because they are just doing such amazing numbers and aren't showing any signs of slowing down. But I thought maybe in the long run, after the end of this year and into next year, things may start to slow down. I don't know that for sure. But this rumor, because once again, I gotta stress it, this is a rumor that 2021, if this new Switch Pro is releasing, that would be a very good move. But now, this is the other thing we got to talk about. And I'm all over the place right now. I know it, and we just starting, man. God dog. But I have to say this. It's interesting that outside of the improved interactivity and a better quality display, it never mentioned anything about there being more power under the hood. So is this going to be basically maybe a rendition? I guess not a reimagining, but you know how they, after the first run of consoles come out, they slim it down, they make some changes to it. Could this be the same thing? Could Nintendo just simply be just putting a better screen on it and maybe a better controller on the Switch screen. I don't know how they would do that, but that's what it seems like they're going to do. And they just leave the console itself, the guts, the RAM and everything else intact. I don't know. It'll be it's going to be an interesting race come next year to see if this happens, but I don't know how Nintendo is going to play it. I mean, they're doing so well now. Do they just feel like, hey, we're comfortable. We're going to sell what we sell. We're off to an amazing start. I mean, this is year 3. We still technically could ride this thing out for another 2 to possibly 3 years with how things are going. Will they continue to do that? Or will this Pro actually pack a punch under the hood? We'll have to find out soon. But moving on into the next story. This is a quick news story. Sega announced that Yakuza Like a Dragon will release on November 13th on Xbox Series X, and a PlayStation 5 version will be coming at an unspecified date. So for any of you guys that were looking forward to that didn't know the date, that is the date. Let's go ahead. Matter of fact, let's jump back in to some more Nintendo news, because we have been waiting for any kind of news when it comes to Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Now, this info is not coming directly from Nintendo, so once again, like I just said with the other story from Nintendo, this is rumor. Take it with a mustard seed of truth. But a French website called WTNT had 2 listings of the game allegedly. Now, the first was for a standard edition that was going to sell for $69.99. Well, this was £69.99. And a collector's edition was available for £82.99. Now, the release date was set for 12/31/20. Now, this date could be a placeholder, so it's possible it could come out earlier or not at all. Once again, Nintendo has not confirmed this, so take it just like that. It's not confirmed. But how interesting would it be that Breath of the Wild 2 just comes out this year? Nintendo hasn't really been saying much of anything when it comes to Breath of the Wild 2. So I don't know if I fully believe this rumor. I think that if the game was coming out by the end of this year, it would have been a much, much harder push. Nintendo would have got out there. I mean, it's still, give or take, 4 months left in the year. I just can't see Nintendo starting to rev up that Breath of the Wild 2 engine so late into the year. But we'll have to wait and see to see if this is true or not. But like I said, I am leaning towards this not being the case. But let's go ahead and move on into some PlayStation news. Now let's keep on driving down, because, man, it's a long drive down Rumor Boulevard this episode, because this next story has several rumors in it. Now, over the weekend, we got our first look at Gotham Knights, which looks so good. Did y'all see Batgirl putting in the work, brother? Golly, she was out there tearing them up with them nightsticks. I don't know what weapon that is that Batgirl has, but she was putting in some amazing work with some combos. And then seeing the co-op aspect of it, having Robin jump in there. I mean, God dog, that game looks good, man. But we know that, good grief, the game is, let me get back on track. We know the game is going to release in 2021. That's for sure. And it's not only going to be for the current generation, but it's also going to be for next generation, which I truly believe, man, that demo they showed, I don't think you're going to get those bells and whistles on the 4 and on the 1. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that was next gen being shown off. Of course, it was a work in progress. Things can definitely change, but man, the way that thing looked good, gosh, it was looking dynamite. But let me get back on track, man. I was talking about, Gotham Knights. Oh, yeah. Now this is according to Good Grieving. This guy, his track record, I'm telling you, I don't know if it's that clean. This guy got a couple bumps on his track record, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway, because it is interesting. According to Iron Man PS5, he is saying that the release month of Gotham Knights will be October of 2021. Now, I don't know if that's true, but once again, take it with the mustard seed of truth. Now, Iron Man PS5, he was on one, because we got two more rumors to go through that this guy is talking about. Now, Iron Man PS5 is also making a bold claim that Sony engineering director Yasuhiro Otori will do a teardown of the PlayStation 5 in November in Tokyo, with a video of the event being posted on the PlayStation blog. Now, god dang, now hold on. Man, listen, Iron Man PS5, listen, brother, I don't know if you're looking so iron right now, brother. You're looking kind of like it might be a little bronze right now. I don't know. That would have been golden, brother. I messed that all up. Joke. But, I don't know if they are doing a teardown of the PlayStation 5 in November. Isn't that supposed to be the release month? I would think that if Sony was trying to get out there, do the Microsoft thing, how they went out there, they went to Digital Foundry, they went to other people and had them tear down the system, look into it, check out the guts, check out the tech, look at the motherboard and all of that stuff. I would think Sony would want to be a little faster on the draw than to say, hey, come November, yeah, this the month we releasing, but guess what? We are doing a teardown. I just don't think that would be the smart move, Sony. I think that if they are doing that, if this teardown rumor is true, don't wait to do it in Tokyo. You got to do that, I would say, next month. You ain't got that much time. But anyway, I digress. Let me see what else. Now, the last piece of news I found in this Notebook Check article was Iron Man PS5 said in a tweet, and I quote, God dog it. He says, PlayStation Studios Santa Monica Studios are in development of a highly anticipated PlayStation exclusive, directed by Cory Barlog. If you've read this far, you know the highly anticipated video game sequel to God of War releases exclusively on PlayStation 5 in spring 2022. Hashtag PlayStation 5 or PS5. End of quote. Now, god darn. Hey, Iron Man, PS5. Either this guy, with all three of these rumors, either he is going to come out looking like a sheer hero, or he's going to come out looking like he just does not know or have any clue on what's going on. Now, I have to say, God of War, another red flag with this rumor is I thought that Cory Barlog, he was not going, well, he actually, to his credit, he just said that Studio Santa Monica, he's going to be working on a highly anticipated PlayStation exclusive that he's going to be directing. So he didn't say that Cory Barlog was going to be behind the sequel to God of War, but spring 2022? Man, I don't know, man. I mean, what do y'all think? Do you think that this guy, all three of these rumors that I have read off to you guys, that once again, Iron Man PS5 is saying, do you guys believe it? I'm a little shaky on that, man. I just don't know. But what else did I have here? Let me see. Yeah, that's about it, man. That is about it. like I said, this info, do not take it as fact until Sony says otherwise. I mean, like I say, man, anybody can make up anything. I could sit up here and I could tell y'all I have it on fantastic authority. I have it, I have a very, very reliable source that says that the PlayStation VR 2, the PSVR 2, is going to release in October of 2024. Y'all be on the lookout. I mean, it's just that simple. So we'll have to see if this comes out to be true, but I don't know. I think I've spent too much time on this, but let's go ahead and let's move into the next story. The show kind of dragged there a little bit, but we gotta talk about Halo Infinite because according, god dang Halo Infinite. Oh man, we gotta talk about it. According to Reset Era user Sponger, his name is Sponger, 343 are, quote, struggling to achieve performance about 900p on the oldest Xbox One S console. As a result, 343 is considering dropping the Xbox One version and doing a next-gen only release on the Xbox Series X. Now, he continued and said, it's pretty messed up there with decisions, but they are convinced that they need to make the best Halo ever. End of quote. Now, while we really don't know for sure if this is true, I wouldn't doubt it, especially since 343 knows how important this Halo is. And matter of fact, it's this other show that I look at, and I'm forgetting the name of the show, but this guy, he reported, this was about 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, it was a while ago, where he had got a memo. Now, once again, you can't take everything as fact, but he did have some people that were talking about what it was like, the work conditions at 343. These guys made statements. Of course, they kept their names off of the statements. Don't want to get blackballed. Fully understand that. But they were saying in these statements that it's no clear leadership. People are all over the place. There's no communication. Things are just bad. People aren't working well together. It's a divide in the studio. I mean, so many different things were being said that just painted 343 in such a negative light. And then we saw what we got in July with that Halo, man. You can't tell me it's not some kind of trouble there at 343. Now the thing is, it is some positivity in this because they have 3 co-developer teams that are working on the game. One is called Certain Affinity, the other one is Sparasoft, and the other one is Skybox Labs. And the biggest news about this Halo Infinite that gives me some hope, that gives me like just a piece of just like, man, maybe the ship can be turned around, is they are bringing back former lead writer Joseph Stanton. He is coming back to oversee the campaign. So that is good news. He's going to be the project lead. He's worked on the previous Halos before 343 took over, and he's back in the driver's seat. And I just hope that he can get this project back on board. I mean, this is the thing. I think, and I can't take credit for this because, what's his name? Ryan McCaffrey. I was listening to his show, Unlocked, and he had somebody write in and break down to him, and he said he didn't think about it until that person wrote in, and neither did I. But the person said that, do you know that 343 has been in charge of the Halo IP almost as long as Bungie was in control of it, and we see how this franchise is turning out. Do you guys think, I mean, man, do you really feel that 343 are the guys for the job? Do you think that they are in over their heads when it comes to the Halo franchise, because these guys have not had a steady track record. And right now, with the latest Halo, it still looks like they have not been able to turn the corner. Do you guys think that Microsoft needs to get 343 off of the Halo franchise and bring somebody else in? Let 343, let them stay, but let them put their stamp on something else. Because I have said, I ain't even gonna get into that, because I hate when people try to make it like, man, y'all, I was so right. That's not the point. But some time ago, I had asked the question, should 343 and the Coalition work on other franchises? And I truly think that for the betterment of Halo, that 343, they should be taken off of it and put onto something that they can really call their own, something that they can put their personal stamp on, something that's theirs from the ground up. Please, Phil, everybody in charge, take 343 off of Halo. That's how I feel, but I don't know. You guys might feel differently. You guys might think that 343 is doing a bang-up job, a wonderful job. But for me, I think they need to be put on something else, and that they are out of their element. They are out of their wheelhouse. Bonnie Ross, I don't know what the world Bonnie is doing at the doggone studio. I have no idea. But for people that are saying that this game won't be delayed until 2022, man, I wouldn't. And I believe 343, they actually came out and they talked about the game still coming to the Xbox One, is still coming, out in 2021. These companies, man, we all know that they will say any and everything. We can never hold on to what they say as 100% fact, because things change so much. And if they held the game up until 2022, I don't think for the most part people would be upset. I think the consensus overall around the board is put Halo back in the oven. Let that joint bake. Don't put it on microwave time. No, put it in the oven. Let those minutes roll by nice and slow. So when it comes out, it is the game that everybody is expecting it to be, because they cannot afford to have Halo Infinite come out a janky mess. Let's go ahead and move on. Now, speaking of 2022, we gotta talk about Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, because it was revealed that the game will release in 2022, and it will be released for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 exclusively. Oh, well, it's gonna be on PC too, but that is awesome just to know that this game right here, this is no cross-gen, brothers and sisters, no cross-gen development. We're jumping on to the 5 and on to the Series X. And that's actually interesting, because Rocksteady, wasn't Batman Arkham Knight? I believe that was at the time, it was a next generation exclusive, and that never came out on the 360 and the PS3, and we saw how beautiful that game was. I absolutely loved Arkham Knight. The Batmobile, that was a little shaky, but overall, phenomenal game. But anyway, continuing on with the story, Rocksteady also said that the game is set in the Arkham games universe, and it will be a multiplayer third-person shooter where you will be able to team up with up to 3 of your friends, or you can opt to play the game solo, and the AI will take over the other 3 NPCs. Now, you will also be able to jump between characters whenever you want. Now, I'm so interested in that, because that is so cool. I was wondering, were they going to give you that option? Kind of like I said, GTA 5 a little bit, but GTA 5, it was a little delayed, because you had to wait for it to load up. And I mean, Franklin, he might have been downtown driving. Trevor, he might have been, I don't know, somewhere up on a building in a woman's dress. He could have been anywhere, so it took a little while for the scenes to load. So I'm thinking that in this game, you'll be able to just jump one character to another. I guess. And you guys are probably going to say, you got to be kidding me when I mention this game. But I guess it would probably be more likened to, it was the game by the Saints Row devs. Man, now it's slipping my mind. God, dog, whatever the last game was that the Saints Row devs released, and it didn't do too well. It was kind of like a comic book kind of game, or a Saturday morning cartoon-esque kind of like game where you could switch in between characters. Agents of Mayhem, that was it. That's it. That game, you can switch between 3 characters, but it's on the fly. It's like bam, bam, bam. I'm taking it that this game, Rocksteady's, this game, Suicide Squad, is going to be probably on the same lines as that. But continuing into, I guess, this is coming to the last part. According to a official press release, this is Kotaku, they said each of the 4 playable characters has special traversal abilities that they can use while exploring a dynamic open world metropolis. So this is just so cool, man. Of course, it was no gameplay. It was all cinematics. I truly, if there was ever one thing that I would love to see go away, it would absolutely be cinematics. Because I truly, man, I'm tired of saying I truly feel and I truly believe. I'm tired of saying that. I think that we are at the point where we don't need cinematic trailers. These games look amazing now. I mean, God dog, Gotham Knights, good grief, did y'all see that? It just looks wonderful. So this next generation of consoles, no, I don't want to see cinematics. If the game isn't ready with gameplay, I don't want to see it. That should be the new standard. Everybody is tired of seeing these cinematic trailers, man. It was cool back in the day when games couldn't, the game characters couldn't show emotion, or it just didn't look as great as they do now. Anyway, man, I'm not going on a rant. I'm not going to make this podcast an hour and 50 minutes. Let's go ahead, guys, and let's just go ahead and move into, well, wait a minute. I will say this, though, real quick about Suicide Squad. Man, they said a dynamic open world metropolis. Golly, man. I don't know if that means it's going to be open world. I kind of doubt that it's going to be open world. I don't think that kind of fits into the mold of what kind of game this is. But the characters, man, what's his name? Mr. Shark or Shark something? I don't know this character, but man, he looks cool as ever. I was like, God, dog, this Joker looks nice, man. So, just a band of different characters that they have, Harley Quinn, and seeing Superman come down, he had that officer or the SWAT guy, whatever, in his hand, and then he just disintegrated him. I said, whoa, this is gonna be a fight. Y'all got a fight on y'all hands. Superman, it's just gonna be cool. I think that this is gonna be great, man. Rocksteady has never dropped the ball. I've never known Rocksteady to drop the ball. And this time, yeah, the stakes are a little higher. Co-op, different characters to switch in between on the fly at any given time that you want. Oh, man, I'm all in, and I can't wait. 2022. Yeah, I can't wait for it, guys. Let's go ahead and let's, man, I had to cough, man. God dog, I'm choking myself. But jumping back I want to jump back into some more PlayStation 5 news. Man, it was a heck of a week for them this week. A new patent just got approved, and it gives a little bit more understanding about the controller. Now, the patent says, and I quote, the gyroscope sensor detects magnetic flux density, which changes in response to motion of the controller. Which the DualShock article breaks down is basically meaning that gamers will be able to sign on to their accounts by merely holding their controller, holding their controller. Meaning that the manual sign-ins could be a thing of the past. Now, the article even went as far as to say that the controller could indicate, this is just crazy, but they're saying that it could indicate if a second player is using the controller based on the way they hold the controller. So even if two people are sharing the same controller, the correct user will receive their trophies and proper scores. Now, I gotta say this, man, I'm choking. But on a side note, a rumor is going around that the PlayStation 5 goes up for pre-order on September 9th. I just wanted to throw that in there. Just throw it in there. But this is just interesting, man. Can you imagine? Man, this sounds like some Jetson stuff, man. I mean, this is like some iRobot. We are in the future technology. Now, once again, a lot of the times we hear these companies, they say all of this stuff. This tech sounds amazing. These patents sound like just out of this world, and it doesn't come out to work like that. But man, I just want to believe it, though. I want to believe it so much. We get burned, though, so many times by these companies. It can jade you, but I still want to believe that this is real. Imagine that kind of tech. You and one of your friends comes over, y'all got the same controller, but then you pass the controller over to your friend, he's turning it a certain way, and the controller is able to realize that, oh, this isn't the original user. This is a guest that's holding the controller. So, yeah, I'm not going to have the trophies pop or whatever the case may be, or I'm going to sign out of this account and just put it onto the guest account or whatever. It's just so, man, I don't know, brother. This technology right here, though, I don't. If this is real, not having to manually sign into your account, not having to, even though it's just a few button presses, it ain't like it's critical unless you got a password on it and you got to go through that. That could be a little tiresome, but just seeing that you could do this and just sign right in, jump right into the action, that could be really cool. We'll see if it's true. And also, man, just talking about pre-orders, Sony, they were sending out everybody was getting pre-orders, man. You could sign your name up and, sign up to get notified. And I think that is let me talk about that for a second. Such a pro-consumer move. Now, the thing that I like about this is what's going around. That Sony is going to your username and all of that stuff. They're going to link it up, look up your profile, and see how much you've supported the PlayStation brand, and it's going to be based off of that. Now, once again, this is rumors. This is it's not fact. But they're saying that they're going to look up your profile and see how much you've supported PlayStation. And those guys that have been in the ecosystem, buying games, supporting, getting the trophy. Well, I don't know about if the trophies matter or not, but, just showing the support to the platform, their names are going to go to the top of the list. And the thing that, and I think that's dope, man. If you are a fan, if you are just a diehard PlayStation fan that loves the brand, that supports, I think you earned that. I think you deserve that. That is just awesome. I'm such a believer in, if you have somebody that really rocks with you and they support and they just ride with you, that should be rewarded, man. So, I mean, look, PlayStation, I gotta give you one of them for that, man. That's amazing. That's great. And the other thing that I was hearing about PlayStation, because this is stuff I didn't write down, just remembering. They were talking about the shortages of the console. Something else I wanted to talk about that last thing, but they're saying that it's going to be shortages. They said that even though it revved up to 10 million are in production as far as the PlayStation 5 goes, it's still going to be in short demand. So if you do get a chance, definitely sign on and, take your chances, man. But I don't think anybody is shocked. I don't know why people are making such a big deal about that. I mean, we've seen this for years. Every generation, it's always a shortage, no matter when. The only generation that I could remember when I could walk into a Toys R Us and the system was there, it was Super Nintendo. I always saw those around, but gaming, we're talking about 91 when that released. We're talking about, God dog, 30 years ago? 91, 1, 11, well, almost 30 years ago. So gaming has become such a bigger staple, but, this is nothing new. Yeah, that's about it though. I mean, the controller, the release date the pre-order, coming out September 9th. If you want this, man, you just got to jump on it. Man, I feel like I'm being so long-winded with these stories this week. Let me go ahead and move on, though. September 9th is rumored. GameStop, Best Buy, Target, Walmart. Just be on the lookout for that date. Don't know if it's true or not. But, yeah, let's move on. Now, we heard a while back that Medal of Honor would be making a comeback. And I was saying to myself, Medal of Honor? Who the world ordered that? I didn't. I don't know anybody else that did. But it looks like, let me see. Yeah, it was unveiled this week. And it's being developed by Respawn. But the thing that I don't think anybody saw coming, I doggone sure know that I didn't see this coming, was it's being developed for the Oculus. That was the thing that blew me away. It's being developed for the Oculus. Now, it's a single-player campaign that's set in World War II and will consist of 3 acts. Now, the first act will be you being recruited into OSS. The second act will be you taking part in D-Day. And the third act will have you dealing with the Nazi secret weapon program. Now, the game releases holiday 2020. Now, once again, it's a Oculus Rift exclusive. And this is just, man, it seems like these franchises, God dog, I ain't gonna say franchises, but it seems like the cool thing for a dormant franchise, because God dog, this has been dormant for quite some time, just like Half-Life. That was dormant for quite a bit of time. But it looks like that they're trying to make these games resurface. Medal of Honor? Man, if you are going to make it resurface, I have to say, this is the perfect way to play it. Not play it like literally, but actually play the cards on getting eyes on the game. And I'm not going to sit up here and lie, man. I was looking at it and I said, good grief, when they were on the ship. And the D-Day ships where the flap comes down and they're running and they're getting shot up before they can even get off the ship good. And you can see the actual, the character, he's shaking, his hand is shaking while he's putting a clip into the gun. I said, God dog, man, this looks pretty good. This is something I would play. And this is the thing. Now we have seen that, what was it? Another Oculus Rift game is coming to the PlayStation VR. What is it? The Darth Vader game. I think that was a year exclusive on the Oculus Rift, and it made its way over to the PlayStation. Now, wouldn't it be absolutely awesome? Because the game looks good. When he smashed that doggone, that statue over the Nazi's head, just bam! And you saw the statue break up. I was like, wow! Wow, I can't imagine doing this in VR because I have a VR headset. And I will tell anybody again, man, Mike J, shout out to you, brother. I'm working on it, man. I have not opened it up yet. Not yet. But just, I hear from so many people, and I did experience VR early on with the Star Wars game on the PlayStation 4. It was amazing. It was awesome. But games have gotten so much better. VR games have gotten so much better since then. So when I saw this Medal of Honor, the one scene out of everything that stood out to me and just imagining what it would be like in VR was when you were jumping out of the plane and you were like just falling in the air. I'm just trying to imagine what the world does that feel like. And you're being landed into a battlefield, I'm taking it, and you're taking out people, shooting people, and it looks good, man. It really looks good. So for anybody that has an Oculus Rift, golly, I think you're going to be in for a treat because the earlier PlayStation VR games, they didn't look so great graphically, right? They looked like, man, this thing is struggling. But even still, when people were playing different VR games, they were just saying it's just a different feel. It just feels different. It's something I can't explain. And now you have the VR games, they're starting to look better. They're starting to look like they're making progression. And now you have something like Medal of Honor that's coming out. Man, that game is probably going to be solid. So many people are talking about the Half-Life game, Half-Life Alyx, and saying how great that is. How amazing. Once again, this is not on topic, but I'm just dreaming. Shout out to Danny. I'm dreaming. Let a brother dream for a second. Imagine what a bombshell. Golly, what a bombshell it would be if that game, Half-Life Alyx, it came to the PlayStation 5 and then it worked on the new VR and the old VR because the 5 way more powerful than the 4. It could handle it. Can you imagine if Sony said, look, this is what we need, Valve. We trying to get PlayStation VR 2 on the map. We need that big game to bring in the masses, to give it a shot. Let us get that up off of you because we've heard rumors again, nothing confirmed, but we've heard that Sony is out there and they are trying to get as many exclusive deals as they can right now. So that would just be incredible. We've seen Oculus lose games before. Could that be the next game on the chopping block? And then after that, Medal of Honor comes over. Man, oh man, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, what are you doing? VR, you need it, Phil. I think Xbox gamers deserve it, especially after you misled so many Xbox guys, including me, that VR was coming to the console and it was a donut. Nothing ever showed up. I think this is something, Phil, you gotta get on this, man. I think I'm gonna talk about Phil at the end of the show. I think I know what I'm gonna call this episode, or the question of the week is gonna be. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on into the next story. Now this is, man, that's going to be so dope though. Dang, I wish I had an Oculus Rift to play that. That just looks so cool. But anyway, let's go ahead, man. God, dog. In more quick news though, Hitman 3 will get next gen upgrades for free if you buy it on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. But there is a catch. You have to purchase the game digitally. Now, at this time, yes, digitally. I don't even know, but at this time, that's all IO Interactive are saying. Now, we could get an update on this, but for now, it's being said you have to purchase it digitally in order to get the next gen upgrade for free. And if you were wondering, again, the game releases on January 20th. When I was reading that article, I forgot where I got that from. I don't know if it was from The Verge. I don't know if it was from something Beat or wherever, but they were saying something like because of the disc format. Now, they highlighted this for the PlayStation 4 version, and I'm not going to remember it verbatim, but they said that it was something to do with the disc's format, where it wouldn't be able to read it on the PlayStation 5. It was something that was so weird, man, where I was like, well, that doesn't really make sense, because I thought these consoles, the 5 and the Series X, were going to be, backwards compatible. You could play your old games on it. But for this one, they were talking about something with the format on the PlayStation 4 versus the format on the 5. So that's why they were saying that you had to buy it digitally and actually download it onto the console. I think that's kind of bogus, though. I don't even think that's necessary, but I'm not a developer. Listen, man, just be honest, man. IO Interactive, be honest. Just say, look, man, we don't want to give this away for free or lose any money on this, because basically, it's no way that you would be able to go to the store and get a secondhand copy of this, because stores don't sell digital versions used right now. So, I mean, good grief, you gotta pay the money for this, because digitally we know that, it's no secondhand market. I don't even know if I'm making sense on that part. Anyway, like I said, digital, man. Let's go ahead and move on. That's bogus, though, IO. Come on, man. Now, normally, I'm not super excited about Call of Duty, but, brother, man, oh man, when I saw that trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, whoo, brother, I got pretty excited. And this week we found out that the game is going to release November 13th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and it's also releasing for the Xbox Series X as well as the PlayStation 5. Now, some of the features being touted for PlayStation 5 and Series X will be, they're saying that it's going to include hardware-based ray tracing, which is nice, higher frame rates, and shorter load times, which are two huge positives. Now the comic book article also mentioned that in order, that's right. Man, this is just going to be such a crazy upcoming generation. Man, listen to this. In order for you to take full advantage of those features, you will have to purchase the digital edition, not the physical disc. Now, you will also be able to play Black Ops Cold War on PlayStation 5 and Series X if you bought it on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. But this is the quote: but the game will not include any of the next generation features such as higher frame rates, hardware-based ray tracing, or faster load times, end of quote. Now, in order to avoid that, if you just say, look, when I buy the game, I want it to work for both. I don't want to just, I want to get all of the bells and whistles, from the game. That's why I'm buying it for the next generation. Now, because the next generation version, it is coming at a later time. But if you want to make sure that you can secure this generation's copy and next generation, you can buy the next gen upgrade bundle that will include the current version and the upgraded version, like I said, when it releases for $69.99. Does that sound familiar? Oh gosh, because Activision, they said, and they confirmed that that's how much the next gen version will cost anyway. So they have already jumped on the $69.99 boat with 2K and said, look, this is what it is. So if you want to get both versions, if you want to get that ray tracing, if you want to get that higher frame rate, those shorter load times, we all want that as gamers. You got to come out of pocket for $69.99. Now, if you don't want to go that route and you just want to just get it on this current generation and say, forget next gen, you can always take that same disc, like I said, from the PS4, Xbox One version, pop it into your new PS5 or your Series X. But none of the features are going to be there. This is just crazy, man. This is why I say this generation is going to be such a interesting crossing over to the, next gen of consoles, because I have never seen these kinds of deals. You gotta get it digitally. You can't get it physically. If you get it physically, you get none of the features. This is just on a whole nother level that I've never seen. And the crazy part about this is that PC don't even have to go through this. I gotta give PC some credit, man. You guys know PC gamers, yeah, man. The guys that are cool, they're cool. I like them. The guys that be up on their old doggone high horse, all talking about, oh, you console peasants. I can't stand them mother lovers. But the guys that are cool is great. But I will say, man, dang, anytime you get a new graphics card, a 2080 from a 1080 to a 2080 to the 3080, which they're talking about, that thing might be $1,400 when it comes out. God darn. You never have to pay for the upgraded version of your games. Once you pop that graphics card in, all of your frame rates boost up, your graphical fidelity goes up into 4K or whatever the world of resolution is, and they never have to pay a nickel. It's crazy. Matter of fact, somebody said that they don't have to pay money for it because the developers and the publishers are afraid that PC guys are going to pirate the game. They just gonna pirate that joint and they gonna lose all of the money. This is just crazy. PC guys, I give y'all some credit, man. Y'all some gangsters over there. God dog, pirate the game. It's terrible, man. Y'all some pieces of work over there on that platform. But it does suck, man, that on the console side, we get the short end of the stick and we gotta be upsold to get these other versions to make sure that we can get all of the bells and whistles for the next gen versions. Ah, man. Anyway, but PC guys, man, they just be on some, they just be on something, man. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on into the next story. Now, during this generation, the PlayStation 4's Wi-Fi hasn't been the fastest when it comes to download speeds. But over on the PSU, they have revealed that the PlayStation 5 will include Wi-Fi 6. Now, just for context, the PlayStation 4 used Wi-Fi 4, which when you compare it to Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6 is 15 times faster. And with that speed, it will be able to hit speeds of 9.6 gigabytes per second. Good gosh, blow your eyebrows back with those doggone numbers. Now, even though it will be able to do it on paper, there are some factors that you have to consider because the typical speed of a U.S. household tops out at a little over 70 megabytes per second, which is, of course, way less than the PlayStation 5 is capable of. Also, Wi-Fi 6 will aid in compatible Wi-Fi 6 routers to deal with many more devices that are attached to the same network. So this is awesome news, man. I mean, just the fact that they're getting such a huge upgrade, 15 times faster than the PlayStation 4. Because those download speeds, man, oh man, I'm struggling. Trying to get a good bit rate going to download games takes forever. But just the fact that Sony realized that and they're going with Wi-Fi 6, That says a lot. That's incredible. Now, the article did say, and I didn't write this down, but I believe they said that in order for this to really make a big impact, Sony is going to have to change their actual network itself to actually go at those speeds, at that Wi-Fi speed. So as long as Sony does that, they'll be sitting in a much, way better position when it comes to the download speeds on the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 is sounding like a beast, man. It's sounding awesome. But let's go ahead and move into the next story now. God, dog, I know that this has been pretty much. I'll say it, man. I've been talking about PlayStation. I mean, heavy. This has been a heavy PlayStation show, but I gotta talk about this. I gotta talk about it has become my most anticipated game for the next generation so far, because it hasn't even started yet, but seeing Ratchet and Clank, oh my gosh, ripped apart, man, that newest demo that they showed at Gamescom, oh my gosh, man. I saw that and man, Insomniac, you're doing it, brothers. Y'all are holding it all the way down. Y'all are doing incredible work. I saw that the way he was riffing through and the load times are just bam, bam, boom. I said, good gosh, then the beauty of it, man, you could see the fur all on Ratchet. I mean, when he was shooting the different weapons and all of this stuff is happening in real time, when he was sliding down what was it, the windows or the glass, did you see in the background with all of the stuff that was going on? It was trains and cars and all kind of stuff going on in the background. I said, good gracious, this is impressive. I have to say, man, so far, Ratchet and Clank, that is the most next-gen looking game I have seen thus far. Insomniac, wow, just incredible. I've heard guys, they've been down talking Ratchet and Clank, talking about, oh man, it's the same thing that it was on a PlayStation 4. It don't even look that much better. It don't even look like they put any work in. Look like they using the old assets from the Ratchet and Clank game on the PlayStation 4 from a few years ago. I said, you got to stop lying. Why are you lying, man? This game looks amazing. It needs to be the same guys that are talking about, that are Xbox fans, talking about Ratchet and Clank. Are you kidding me? Did you see Ratchet and Clank? And did you see Halo Infinite? If you are being honest with yourself, brother, take your Xbox glasses off, please, sir. Take them down and just look at the two for what they are. It is no way that a person that is being honest with themselves could say that Ratchet and Clank versus the way that Halo looked, which one looked more next generation, and they say, oh, that was Halo Infinite. Man, you better get the heck on out of here. Anyway, going on with the reason why I brought up Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, we got some news this week, some new info about the game, and it was confirmed that the Rift Apart will include 2 different modes. Now, one will have the game running at 4K, 30 frames per second. Now, the other will have a lower resolution. The resolution wasn't confirmed, but the game will run at 60 frames per second. For this move, once again, I say yes. People that complain about the 60 frames, or I should say the 30 frames, not 60, but complain about games in this generation being 30 frames and why are they doing it like this? This is the way you just shut people up. You say, look, listen, okay, all right, 4K 30. If you want to go for the graphical fidelity, you want to go for that beautiful look and all of the stuff that's going on, have it on a crisp, nice, smooth, beautiful image quality, then you can play it at 4K 30. Or If you're a player that wants to concentrate on the frame rate, you want to have the game feel a certain kind of way, a certain kind of silky smoothness to it, guess what? We'll let you have the option. It might be 1080p. It might be 1440p. I don't know. But we can have the game play at 60 frames per second. It's the best of both worlds. This is how you do it, and we've seen this. This is the second time that this has happened with Insomniac, which makes me think that they're going to basically do the same thing with Spider-Man, because some people at the time, when they said that Spider-Man was going to have a 60 frames per second mode or a 4K mode, people said, oh, you're going to be able to play it at 4K 30 or 4K 60. Now, I never believed that, because I figured that at 60 frames per second, you're not going to be playing at 4K, or they would have just automatically said, play Spider-Man Miles Morales at 4K 60. That sounds way better than saying you can play it at 4K 30, or you have the option to actually play it at 60 frames per second. So I believe that with Spider-Man, similar to Ratchet and Clank, it's definitely going to be a lower resolution, but you'll still get the 60 frames per second. It's going to be, oh man, Ratchet and Clank is going to be amazing. And I just started playing Ratchet and Clank this generation. Here it is. This game has been around since PlayStation 2, and it took 2 other generations to come for me to go ahead and give it a chance. And man, I tell you, this game is going to be incredible. I just feel it. That last Ratchet and Clank, I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was so much fun. The different weapons, the gameplay, the graphics, just a masterpiece. So for this, I'm so sold on the PlayStation 5. Ratchet and Clank did it. It wasn't so much Spider-Man Miles Morales for me, even though that was a bonus. That was a beautiful cherry on the top, to just move me over. But man, Ratchet and Clank, playing this at 4K 30 or whatever, 1440p, 60. Once again, they didn't say it was going to be 1440. I'm just saying possibly. It's going to be great, man. But anyway, let's go ahead. Man, this podcast is starting to go a little long. Let's go ahead and get into some more quick news. Now, according to fans, oh man, here we are. According to fans, they are tired of EA having the NFL license after the Metacritic score for Madden 21 reached a brand new low score of a 65. And the user score, god darn, the user scores, I usually don't put a lot of stock into that, especially after The Last of Us Part 2, how it got review bombed to the 10th degree. But god darn, man, I mean, this user score, I ain't never seen nothing like it. The user score is at a 0.4. A 0.4. God dang. It didn't even get a whole percent. Sheesh. I mean, man, oh man. I don't know. But here's the thing. For people that are mad, that want Madden EA to no longer have the NFL license, it's too late, man, because the NFL just signed a 6-year extended deal with EA. So we are absolutely stuck with EA having the full rights to the NFL license. Now, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. It's not a lot, but I'm excited. I'm very excited. Is that 2K, they were able to get the license to use the player's likeness in their game. So they actually have real NFL stars that are going to be in their upcoming, not NFL, but their football game in 2021. So unless EA has, not EA, but the NFL put a clause in there that says if the game gets gets such bad scores and we don't feel like it's getting the NFL name is getting the proper, I don't know, likeness or the respect that it deserves, then we might have to yank it from you. I don't know. Unless that's a clause in there where, things just start looking so bad and the quality from EA isn't being held to a certain standard, then we're stuck. Wouldn't that be interesting, though? Because doesn't Disney or one of those companies have something in place where if you're not using the IP to a certain level, if it gets to a certain, a certain standard that's below where they would want it to be, that they can rip it from them, take it from them? I don't know. Who knows? I'm just spitballing here. I don't know. But yeah. Unless something happens, 6 years we got to deal with these mother lovers. But 2K, if you want to send a message, like I say all the time, man, and I hate saying that, but if you want to send a message, you gotta just vote with your wallet. Tell these jokers, we're not rocking with you. Rock with 2K next year. I keep saying NFL 2K. Golly, whatever football game 2K is coming out with next year, for the people that are upset at Madden and want to let them know that we're not going to support this BS that you have going on, stop giving them your money. Take it over to 2K, rock with them, let them feel it. Let EA feel that, oh, shoot, man, we ain't selling no copies. Everybody going over to 2K. What are we going to do now? Because unlike before, EA can't panic and say, hey, let's buy the NFL license. That'll just kill everything. No, you already got it. So you got to put out a game that matches what they're doing on the 2K side. I don't know. We'll have to see, man. We'll see what happens. But anyway, we're getting into the final story of the week. Now, earlier this week at Gamescom, Gamescom was good to me. It wasn't like phenomenal, but I thought it was okay. I saw some things that I was excited about. But like I was saying, at Gamescom, we got a look at Doom, The Ancient Gods Part 1, which is a DLC for Doom Eternal. But during an interview with PC Games In, game director Hugo Martin said, and I quote, "We want the DLC to reach as many people as possible. In fact, you don't even need to own Doom Eternal to buy the DLC and play it." End of quote. Now, as far as how big the game will be, Hugo said, quote, "For us, this very much like a 2-part film, this is every bit as grand as the main game was." End of quote. Now, the game actually releases on October 20th, if any of you guys are interested. Now, I think this is great. I started playing Doom Eternal a few weeks ago, and golly, man, that game is, man, god darn, you got to really figure out how to play that game. Because I was trying to play it like a traditional shooter, a first-person shooter where you try to be a little strategic, aim down the sight and whatnot, even though you can't really aim down the sight in Doom Eternal. But you gotta keep moving, man. You shoot an enemy, you grab the stuff he got flying out, and you move on to the next. Very interesting gameplay with Doom Eternal, but I've enjoyed it so far. But if any of you guys that have seen this and you don't have Doom Eternal, you can still pick it up separate from the game. It'll be part 1, and I guess October 20th. I guess that's in time for Halloween or close to it or whatever. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the gaming news this week, which leads us into the final section of the podcast, and that is when I ask you guys a question, and I would love to get your feedback. Now, you guys know what it was before I did because it's already up there, but the question I want to ask officially is Phil Spencer the right man for the job? Here, Phil Spencer has been in control of pretty much the entire Xbox One chip. He had, what was his name? Man, y'all know what I'm talking about. The guy that said if we got a console for you, it's called the Xbox 360. Don Matrick, man. That joker was something else, man. God dang, man. We got a system for you. Anyway, man, we know how that went. He got released just a few short months before the Xbox One ever came out. Phil Spencer, he got the job. He's basically been in the driver's seat for quite some time now. I'm not going to say the entire Xbox One's generation cycle, but he's been in there at least, I would say, a good 5 out of the 7 years. I'm not going to say a 6. Let's just say 5 to be fair. Out of the 7 years that Xbox has been on the market, I think it was a lot sooner than that. But since Phil Spencer has taken over, I've said this time and time again, man. He seems like such a nice guy, man. But in the role of Xbox as an exec, man, his brother shoddy. He just, man, brother, like I say, he is just spottier than a Dalmatian, man. I don't know. It's the leadership, the games that he greenlights. He was really about to release Halo Infinite in that state. No ray tracing at launch. He was going to do it. I am convinced if the Xbox, not just Xbox, I mean, good grief, they was getting hit from all angles. If people weren't saying, what the heck is this? Making the meme of Craig, God dog, give him his own side mission or whatever. If people didn't make such a huge stink about it, I am so convinced they would have released that in the state that it was in. What was going on, Phil? I mean, good grief. These games being released broken, Crackdown 3, that game didn't deliver. Sea of Thieves, when it first released, it was broken. That didn't deliver. It's in a much better place now. But State of Decay 2, releasing in the state it was in, no pun intended. What the world? Phil, man, God dang. His track record is not great, man. Anytime you doggone say we're going to release, what was that game back on the 360, the card dueling game or whatever? Not 360, the original Xbox. He released that with the original assets. Golly! He didn't even try to update the game. This is all under Phil Spencer's watch. Is he the man for the job? Is he the right man for the job? If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it two different ways. Either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. I was your host, Kiaun Mitchell. Daggone Phil, what the heck is going on? I want to thank y'all for being here, for rocking out with me. The support has been unbelievable. It's just been amazing, heartwarming. I truly thank you guys for spreading the word about the Analog Circle Podcast, just showing amazing support, and it truly means a lot to me. It really, really does, guys. But I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. So before we officially get out of here, always remember, it is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until next week, because we back, baby, when we do it again, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.